Hey guys, Rorius here. Welcome back to Not For Broadcast. Last episode was probably my favorite episode of the whole game. It ended with a musical number directed towards us. Yeah, so now it's actually the next day. The rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor brings you slowly back to consciousness. It's a rude awakening. Opening your eyes, you're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces. Your family by your side, a reassuringly familiar sight in these new surroundings. You blink a few times to clear the sleep from your eyes and bring everyone into focus. Looking up, Sam's face is a mixture of concern and frustration. Things haven't been great between you two lately, and Chris hasn't been helping things. Looming at Sam's shoulder with a sour expression, it's clear there's still no love lost between the two of you. While Sam clearly isn't worried about you, the family's scowl is obvious on both of their faces. I can't believe I'm just walking up to the gruesome too. Reach out a hand to Sam. Thanks for coming, honey. The worry for you wins out and Sam takes your hand, before leaning in to kiss your forehead. Of course, sweetheart. I could never have been anywhere else. For the first time in a while, you both genuinely smile at each other, before you look to the rest of your family. Just as you feel Susie's absence, you notice Charlie fidgeting, clearly trying to not look worried. As soon as you turn to look at him, you can see Charlie tense up, his concern clear on his face. So you're definitely good, right? He finally asks, quickly looking away. Of course I am, buddy. There's nothing to worry about. Charlie looks at you and grins, one of those infectious smiles that spreads around the room. It's always good to have him in your corner. The smile fades as you notice your mother staring listlessly out the window. Despite all of your best efforts, she's not been doing well lately. Are you okay, Mum? Your mother starts, your call clearly shocking her out of her reverie. She turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see the increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. Yes, dear, of course. How are you Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling? You smile warmly and nod. But before you can respond, a doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you, for what feels like the 100th time, how you're feeling. Surprisingly well, all things considered. Excellent. There's no sign of any real damage, just a bit of shock to the old system. Pardon the pun. Not that would recommend you do anything like that again. Of course. After a couple of days rest at home, you should feel right as rain. She turns to leave, but stops at the door. Oh, and the private room and care? The doctor gestures to your room, which you now notice looks rather expensive. Has all been paid for by Mr. Bozeman. He left those flowers and said not to worry, and to take the rest of the week off. He'll see you Monday, apparently. Seems like the least he could do. I was gonna say, he's actually nice. I think because we went into work that day, where we didn't have to. A burden to bear? Question mark? Are we gonna get more of the Mrs. Snuggle hugs? Yeah, I think because I kept up positive relationship with Bozeman and the company, it has paid off. You come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which isn't normally a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam sat at the table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of them, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. They give you a quick kiss as you take a seat next to them. Sam frowns and goes back to the bill they're holding. Hey, sweetheart. Just looking at the numbers again. They look to the door to the pantry, now converted into your mother's bedroom. Oh. I see. So they used to have a walk-in pantry, but now it's a bedroom? We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly the bills are all you can see. Fortunately, with the money that's been coming in and what we've been able to save, we've got more than enough to keep going. With Susie home to help out, the nurse would only need to be part-time anyway. Sam smiles at you. I know things have been difficult, and the daily care won't be cheap, but she's your mother. We have to, really, don't we? You gratefully smile back. Of course you'll pay the extra care for your mother's needs. Oh. Oh no! In the 2 broadcasts ago, Advance was saying they were making death cheaper. It's like they're making it like you can basically choose the positive spin on it. is that they were legalizing, like, optional euthanasia. So, you could get yourself killed if you felt like you were at the end of your tether. and end of life choices like that are really important to discuss, but this is clearly an abuse of that. Our mother's a burden on us now, let's just send her in. That's terrible. No. We'll pay for her extra needs. The sword of Damocles sheathed, at least for the moment. You grab the papers and stuff them into a drawer. It's such a relief to not have to worry about it anymore, or so you told Sam. Hours later, you're still awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, how long will the money last? Yeah, it's gonna go down. Considerably, I'm assuming. Back to comfortable. Okay, that's fine. For now. That's fine for now. Day 201, a letter home. Sam's out with work tonight and Charlie's staying at a friend's. The house is yours. You order a takeaway, have a couple of drinks, and decide to relax in front of the TV. Not a great selection tonight, but surely something to watch. You feel like a laugh comedy, is it? Sam's not here, but you can still watch a horror without them. You just want to switch off, action thriller is the one. Sam isn't a fan of historical dramas, so you make the most of them being away. If this was really me, a laugh is what I always like to... I like to watch something funny. The humor is a bit hit and miss, but the joke about the kiln has you bent double in laughter. Wiping a tear from your eye, you spy something reflecting the light of the TV under the coffee table. Curious, you reach down and bring it out into the light, and as you pick it up, you remember the note Sam left for you. Hey sweetheart, Charlie's lost Susie's present. Would you mind looking for it tonight? As you hold it closer... Oh. You're surprised to find the gift actually an engraved lighter for Chippy. She claims the nickname's affectionate, but Charlie still scowls every time she says it. You're not sure Sam would approve. The accompanying note from Susie explains, Urkistan has a long tradition of glorifying the art of starting fires. Thought you'd like it. Don't do anything stupid, Suze. Hopefully it's just a souvenir and not a new pastime he's picked up. Or about to pick up. It's nice that she thought of him. Please don't tell me that Charlie's gonna turn into a pyromaniac. The loading tip guy is off today, so there isn't one. Only nice if you don't think twice. I've been living in a paradise ever since you've been. I don't know what the lyrics are there. Day 232, The Silence. Oh, right, I suppose I have to go.
What?
You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny,
Problem?
I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound...
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
And Jeremy, all yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to both of you.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week.
Okay.
Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy That Nun.
You're letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
I thought we were all
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being
Things
so
are-
naughty and do your job.
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me.
Meghan and all the team at the National.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The
There's
World
3
Council
pictures
has agreed
now.
today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
What do you think about all these sanctions?
I doubt it make a lot of difference, Pet. I've lived through 2 world wars and I smoke 40 a day. And if that ain't killed me, I doubt this will either.
Thanks, Patrick.
I chose the neutral
Fascinating
option.
stuff. Thanks, Patrick.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community.
Damn it.
By showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
Happy?
Hi there, I was wondering if you could spend a moment to give us your thoughts on the government.
Honestly, I think they're doing a great job. I know the assets and world checks have made the difference for us for the cost of the little one. And people seem, happier in the main. I always said things would get better with all men in charge.
A Flard day's night. Following the release of the Flardmaster 5000, production of Flards are at an all-time high, requiring the new manufacturing facility in Grizzleford to move to 24-hour-a-day production.
With people finding more and more uses for the ever-versatile Flard, the team at Rewington Cyst certainly have their hands full keeping up with demand.
So, is there anything better than a handful of Flards? We asked Patrick to find out. Patrick?
Could I ask you for your opinion of Flards?
Of what, Pet?
Flards.
This is not exactly what I would have chosen.
Flards, like Flards, everyone knows what Flards are. Flards.
Don't know. Don't care.
Oops.
Is it some sort of curd?
Are you okay?
The delicate sound of thunder, a frightening start for commuters this morning, who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment on the meaning of the strange protest.
I'm just gonna
say this presenter for making him drop his morning bagel in surprise.
I'm sort of going
But
for
how do we feel about
pro-advance
these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods?
thing here, so I'm gonna say the negative one.
Can I ask your opinions on Disrupt?
Are those the guys in black with the orange fist thing?
That's right.
Can I be honest?
Of course. This is journalism.
They scare me a bit.
Bubbling up, intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and Dr. Ingrid Svorsborg Hawkinsford today sent a blueprint of the escape craft in which they hope to finally leave Dante's taint.
Oh, yes.
With expert opinions of the plan running the gamut from optimistically engineered to that looks like something my granddad made in his shed, it sounds like the unfortunate team are going to need all the thoughts and prayers they can get.
So what should we think about the escape plan? Patrick Bannon again.
So I'd imagine that you think this is a great plan.
Oh my God! How did you know? It's a brilliant idea. I hope everyone gets behind them so that they know that we're with them. In spirit, of course. I can't actually go diving because I'm scared of salt.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, finally, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
Oh yeah, fantastic. I'm applying today. I mean, why wouldn't you? What are these protesters doing that they don't want us to know who their names are? Besides, have you seen the savings you can get? I'm getting one for the little one as well.
This is very all very dystopian.
Yeah. Gonna be a proper little team member, aren't you? Yes. He smiles. He smiles.
And finally tonight, back of the net, popular sports personality Johnny
I feel dirty.
and his fiancée Tiffany Lamour was spotted out today doing a little shopping for what many are already calling the greatest wedding ever.
We can only assume that Tiffany's latest show, My Teenage Secretions, has
Once
sold
again,
better
positive.
than expected, as by the looks of things, the whole affair's about to become more expensive than Lil C's shoe collection.
I don't know who that is.
But what should your opinion be of this extravagant display of wealth?
Oh my god, fantastic!
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National
Nightly
Nightly
News.
Okay. I think I got that transition good. I think. I'm annoyed. I got a tiny bit of oh, I got a little bit more haze on the broadcast. No. It's moving faster now.
First tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel, and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight, we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation.
Also-
For advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lamfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy.
Also, I realised that
A momentous day, Prime Minister.
the
Are you
colours
shaken?
of these.
No, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest
I
guard
learned-
of labor camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay.
Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions,
The
how do you
colours
feel
are
about Advance's defiant stance?
how good the
Vance is like man who think he have big career in movies land. When actually, he in dirty
quality
sanitarium,
of cut.
screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, and we have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent, yeah?
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here, yeah.
Minister?
It's just Björk, yeah.
Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole, like, vote thing, yeah? But it's actually the Festival of Feuerland here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So, like, we all had to work our grandparents' Galinia whilst the vote was happening, and that's, like, a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like a sissy man. You have this expression, sissy man. It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah,
Oh,
because...
stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Pete, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Oh, could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good, he can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have like serious animal
Svenland.
welfare legislation. And like my friend Helge, she got arrested for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel thing. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. She was a right cracker too. I wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Human interest, Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vent. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Finland, we don't really go in for all that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and power
Possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Bjerg?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated divisive concepts like money. Instead, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovich.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant Newton hairy bear. When really, he just standing in field
Holding his tiny penis, yes. Thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring.
We'll be back.
After these messages.
We'll be back.
1 minute back.
Oh, I don't know if I got that in time.
Weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
Thank you for the correction.
Well, you have to be more careful.
It's all part of his long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation.
Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
Oh, A+. Yay.
New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring.
Oh.
Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
Okay, I now have to censor blue stuff? Okay. What's the ad? Oh, sports board. I chose it because I realized that's probably I think that's the company that...
Are you still meant to bow to foreign royalty?
What?
It's the company that has the shares in my
Given you the Crown
house.
Prince report.
What?
Megan.
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
Oh my god.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimp, are you?
Live in 10 seconds.
Because he put that get up on himself. I'm just saying.
Going in 5, 4.
Live to who first?
Welcome back, I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
I accidentally stayed on that shot too long.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on this show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took
Charity shop?
You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just, it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck advice. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man. Very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice?
I like this, Jerry.
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of a...
Or maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Love Knows Tears.
Oh, no. I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is, the new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay all.
Oh, I bet I'm gonna have to censor this like crazy.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes, I don't need your freaky team. And I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams.
Damn it. Yeah. I'm missing censorship.
When you find you're one of us, yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise,
well,
the press of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take his fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clement's motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job, he's unfaithful. It's time to stone a castle with a motherfucking pitchfork.
Okay, that is not working.
So this is for the snub ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks who feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley, the ones who now finding out their bank accounts are empty, the ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation, the ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal.
I'm just cutting back and forth between the two green.
You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, serve the press of the ways, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clement's motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stone a castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Take your head to go-getters, those squilling bed getters, and burn them on the powers of advanced fucking letters. Gonna take his
The censorship job is really hard.
Slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's fake as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team. And advances, little dances aren't as harmless as it seems.
Oh god.
Then your anger erupt, then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
This is really hard. This actually, I did terribly with that. Oh my god.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away, we'll be right back after this.
Oh,
That's the ad.
too early.
Jenny, this is fucking outrageous!
Thank you so much. If you could just come with me.
No, this is ridiculous. Who do I complain to?
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust me.
leave.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This
Yeah.
is unbelievable, Megan!
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
I kind of agree. Oh, E. Okay, I might have to replay that.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. Pop in a new tape.
Do I replay it? I want to replay it. I did so poorly in that. Because it was just the censoring plus the censoring plus cutting to get the multiplier. I'll try and do that better. I'm also tempted though to not censor the blue stuff. I would like to stay neutral. I kind of feel like I should do it the same way that I did last time, because I feel like if I retroactively, I want it to be as authentic as like possible. Yeah, I want it to be as authentic to like my first experience of the game. I went ahead and censored all the blue.
Dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the brave serve the press of the ways. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's fake as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets. Set a fire in the building, let him feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're squilling bit getters. And burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's fake as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team. And advances, little dances aren't as harmless as it seems. Cause they're stale and corrupt, then you're angry erupt. Then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Oh my god, there was so much censoring in that, I just realized. I think I did that a lot better.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral,
And so from the next
unbiased,
part,
and
I'll
independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away, we'll be right back after this.
That's the ads.
dangerous language achievement.
Outrageous.
Thank you so much. If you could just come
I clearly did it
this
much
is
better. I got the
ridiculous.
dangerous language achievement.
this
I'm
is
assuming for
just a
censoring
mix-up,
everything.
I'm sure.
I'm with Jeremy though in this.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
A+. Hell yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad this game has a replay feature. Yeah. I've already done that. I played sports board first, so I can just play A now. I can play B next, and that's it.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not going to play the advance.
Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Megan, Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
You're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a low-order demon.
Yes, it is awfully
A
exciting.
low-order demon.
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Okay, thank you. Oh god, what's going to happen here?
4, 3.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Radin, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Please don't.
Back, demon!
Please
Back
don't
to the hells!
punish me for staying on this for too long.
Philippa, what's it been like?
Damn it.
Co-starring with Tommy Harris.
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Oh, good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
You do this
Oh my
every
God.
night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight.
Just, yeah.
When I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's
Okay.
get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
He just walks off. Not shaking hands. Oh, yay! A+! Broadcast complete. Continue, yeah. Okay, that was an excellent... that was just a great... After I fixed my E, which was the second broadcast, E, that was an excellent, uneventful broadcast. All offensive words were censored. An interference-free show. I think there was a little tiny bit of interference right at the start, wasn't there? Adequately edited. Advance happy with the broadcast. Ah, I see. Even though I didn't play their ad, I was like, I'm gonna, seeing as Jeremy was like, we're unbiased. I was like, okay, we mustn't play the ad. I'll play like just regular ads. A generous bonus. Went from things are looking up. Went from comfortable to things are looking up. Yeah, Pleasure Corporation or whatever it is. Oh, Crazy Dave or whatever it is. Crazy Neil? Neil's Deals? Yeah, that's it. Neil's Deals. Went down. I didn't play their ad. I played, I think these, yeah, Remington's first. I played, this other company that's another one of the, ones you can have your house with. And, I played this one first. Oh, Advance went up, but the Rebel cause went down. I see. Well, that was that was just a great episode. It felt very calm compared to the previous two episodes. But whatever the case, thank you so much for watching, and until the next episode of Not for Broadcast.